السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. Today we will explain the differences between goods dominant logic GDL and service dominant logic SDL. But before we do that, we must ask a question: what does dominant logic mean? Dominant logic or business schema is an established way of thinking. Now, when we work for a firm, we often say that somebody's got native when they spend their several years. And what we mean by that, they start to establish in their mind and accept a certain pattern or certain way of thinking and understanding something. This is dominant logic. The dominant way your mind is thinking and solves a problem. Goods dominant logic GDL deals basically with products of a tangible and intangible nature, such as goods and services. There are several criteria that distinguish between tangible and intangible, such as immateriality, integration of an external factor, the inseparability of production and consumption, a lack of storage. In good dominant logic GDL, the purpose of the economic activity is to make and distribute things that can be sold, such as services and products. To be sold, these things must be embedded with utility and value. During the process of production and process of distribution, and must offer the customer with superior value than the competitors. The price a consumer is willing to pay reflect the value of the transaction. Various models and management approaches have been developed to standardize and optimize these internal transaction-related processes, including Porter's value chain, the value shop, the value network. Porter's value chain, as the diagram shows here, primary activities are inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, customer services. These activities make a direct value-adding contribution to the creation of the service. Support activities such as firm infrastructure, human resource management, technology development, recruitment, they are the necessary requests for performing primary activities. Therefore, these activities, support activities, make an indirect contribution to the creation of the service. As we see here, the production stages are ordered in a sequence of activities. These activities are linked in the process, and each activity consumes resource to generate value. The value shop is an alternative value creation configuration to Porter value chain. The value generation phases is the solution of customer problem. This can be divided in the following phases: acquisition, problem and identification, development of alternative solutions, selection and implementation of the best problem solving alternative, and the evaluation of the implementation. The value driver here is reputation. Unlike the value chain, the value shop is not characterized by the sequential order, but by the iterative cyclic, and the order of the activity is often interactive. For an example, if your old car, you notice something wrong with your old car, you will take it to the repair shop. They make observation and try to figure out what's wrong with the car. Then the repair shop, the guy in the repair shop, they will diagnose the car's condition and recommend some repairs and implement some of them. Okay, after a few days, if you know that the problem has been solved, you will not return to the repair shop. But if the problem is still there, you will return to the repair shop and begin again until the problem is solved. Another model is the value network. Here, the value add activities aimed at bringing together different demands. For example, within the financial service industry, the network infrastructure which form the basis of service provision, such as the provision of e-payment systems between banks, the network service, for example, the execution of bank range of services such as customer consulting, and the network promotion, for example, the acquisition of a new customer or additional customer. The service provider acts as an intermediary, establishing, monitoring, terminating the contacts between the different actors who shows demands. Unlike the value chain and value shop, the activities here in this model are largely carried out simultaneously. Now we can briefly compare the three models. The value generation with importers value chain is transform inputs into outputs like goods and services. Within the value shop, it is the solving of customer problem, and within the value network is the connections of customers. So the activities logic within the model is sequential, cyclic, simultaneous. Service dominant logic is a new way of thinking. Unlike GDL, not goods, the type of output, but the service, the process in the center of the consideration. Customers don't buy goods or services, they buy offering, which render service, which create value. Therefore, goods are platform for service, and services are platform for experience. What we are saying here, that the service itself co-created with actors, for example, customers, because if we really think about what we want to buy, we don't want to buy goods or services. We want to buy a solution to achieve something. Additionally, the differentiation between goods and services is not unnecessary, because goods act as a vehicle for service delivery. Such as iPod, when you buy an iPod, you want to listen to the music. You don't want to buy the iPod itself. You want to listen, and then you want the entertainment. So the service is the process of using one's resources for the benefit of another actor or oneself. Okay, the service dominant logic deals with service. Direct, an actor applied the resources for the benefit for another actor in person, for example, doctor and patient. Indirect, an actor apply the resources for the benefit of another actor through goods such as iPod, or when the patient use healthcare software system, and also through money, for example, provision of loan. What the resource do exist? One of the useful part of the SDL is it is separation of operand and operant resource. Operand resource are resources that require action taken upon them to be valuable, such as time, money, car, machine, technology. If we think about technology as infrastructure, operant resource are resources can act on other resources to contribute to value creation, such as knowledge, skills, creativity, typically people. Okay, SD logic emphasizes that the primacy of operant resource over operand resource in value co-creation. In other words, although operand resource often contribute to the co-creation of value without the implementation or the application of operant resource, value creation will not occur. For example, you give a smart TV as a gift to your grandfather who already struggles with his old TV. He cannot work through the menu. Therefore, he will not be able to reach the full potential of smartphone or smart TV. Sorry, okay. Resources are not they become. For example, an umbrella. Umbrella, it's could be a resource, but will not be actual resource until you use it in a rainy or a sunny day. And if we look at value creation from the perspective of SDL, the classic dual supplier and customer relationship, P2P or P2C, become a more and complex network of relation. Value is always co-created by multiple actors. Thus, at the network, all actors are simultaneously providers of resources as well as beneficiaries of services, and every interaction within an actor is set by network behind it. Okay, the service ecosystem perspective emphasize that value unflowed over time among a whole host of actors, not through the activity of a single actors or between a firm and its customers. So here are our key takeaways. Companies produce goods and customers buy brands. Apple with iPhone, Samsung with Galaxy. The holistic experience of the purchase of steam cookers should bring a new whole experience of cooking. Service is a process, not only a unit of output. We use one's resource for another benefit. Goods act as a vehicle for service delivery, like car for mobility, steam cookers for the creation of a tasty meal. Customers are not end user, they are service provider. For example, the students create outputs themselves in breakout via Zoom meeting or studying groups. Thank you.